Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Red Devils Dugout. I go by Struggle, and I'm having to change it up again this week. I know I've changed it up once already, but I sat down. I think it was last week. I know January was probably the worst month to start a Manchester United channel. And I sat down and I was like, all right, cool. I need to get this review video out for the City game, and then a preview, and then a preview for Liverpool, and then a review after that. And I was just like, there's way too many games for somebody with no subscribers and only one person running this channel. So I was just like, bun that. Like, it's just got to, had to scrap that. Back to the drawing board on that one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a weekly series where I'm just gonna go through everything that happened last week and then look forward to this week. And that way, at least there's one video a week. Can put most of my effort into that. Kind of get into the place where I'm sorting out the graphics and that, and then hopefully that's a little more manageable. So here we are. This is the first of the weekly recaps or look forwards. I don't know. I'll probably come up with some kind of catchy name to call it, or probably not, and just put it up anyway. But yeah, so let's have a look back on what was arguably been a rather disappointing week for Manchester United. So, brief mention, of course. Timothy Fosu-Mensah has, of course, moved to Bayern Leverkusen. And I don't know how I feel about that one, I'll be honest. The fee was around about 1.8 million. I think that's pounds, not euros. But it's not a lot of money. And I know we've been talking about letting Brandon Williams go out on loan. And I don't see how we can, considering we don't really have any cover for that right back spot now. Brandon Williams can play there. I wouldn't necessarily call him a right back, but he's the only cover we have. So if we let him go out on loan, are we planning to sign somebody? It doesn't look like it. You know, all of the reports coming out of the different news outlets seem to say that this is it, really. There may be some outs, but no ins. You know, we're looking at Marcos Rojo and Phil Jones, and Sergio Romero might leave, but we can't see us bringing anybody in. And I just can't see Brandon Williams leaving. But I think it's a tough one. I think Ollie's made the right decision here. I think Fosu-Mensah probably didn't show enough promise to warrant fighting somebody for a first team spot. The reason I'm a little reluctant to say it's all the way good is A, the fee was really, really small, and B, like in conjunction with the fee, he wasn't that old. I think he was about 23, 24. I could be wrong. I'll double check. But either way, I just felt like he wasn't done. His story wasn't completed yet. You know, he might have. He's 23. I felt like he had more to offer us, and I would have liked to have seen, you know, at least another season. Because the problem is that I think what a lot of people forget when they watch a team like Manchester United is that we haven't looked good for a while. Like, yes, we're in a good run of form at the moment, and we're obviously getting decent results, but the team has struggled. You've looked at us and you've seen occasions and games where we've not necessarily put together the performance we would have wanted, even if we have ultimately come out with the right result. And that is a very difficult position to be in when you're a player trying to make a name for yourself. Because if you come into a good side and you play decently, the people go, oh yeah, it wasn't bad. But if you come into a side and they're struggling, you get judged much more harshly. And even if you do get the result, your performance may not exactly stand out. And the thing is that he had a couple of moments where I was like, Timbo, come on. But he had a lot of moments where I thought, oh, you know what? We threw him in probably in short notice and he looks all right. So, you know, I don't think there's any clause there to buy him back or whatever. And to be honest, I don't see him proving me wrong and ending up being a fantastic player in the future. I think he'll be a solid player and he'll have a good career, but it's just a little sad to see him go. You know, he's always one of those players where you're just kind of like, oh yeah, we've got Timothy Fosu-Mensah. He might come back and he might you know, and honestly, I kind of touch wood. I hope a lot of other youngsters don't follow in his footsteps, as in end up leaving the club with not really much to their legacy, because I can kind of see it happening if I'm honest. But on to not really much better news, because uh, we played City in the League Cup. That's pretty much the next piece of Manchester United news that happened, and I went into that game so positive. Like I was really, really looking forward to taking the game to City, and we just didn't. We really, really didn't. You know, we lost 2-0, and the most annoying part of that is we lost 2-0 to set pieces, and I have to ask of not only just of us, not only just of like United as a whole, but more specifically of Ollie and the coaching team. When are we going to address this? We are horrible at set pieces. When it comes to defending set pieces, and to be fair, attacking set pieces as well, we are horrible. Now, if Jurgen Klopp is going to bring in a throw-in coach just so that Liverpool can be 5% better at throw-ins, then surely we must need a set piece coach. Because if we can get, and let's be honest, 5% isn't a lot, but we're so bad that 5% isn't even like 5% would be like us just being able to do the bare minimum. Although I will, like, now that I'm obviously looking in a position further than the Man City game, we didn't defend from corners so badly in the Liverpool game, but I'll get to that when I talk about the Liverpool game. But we need a throw-in coach. We need somebody to just say, yo, this is how you defend corners. This is how you attack corners. This is where you should be. And yeah, just really give ourselves a fighting chance. Because if you go back, I think I mentioned this in one of our other videos, but if you go back and look at our last like 5 games, and you take away goals that we conceded from set pieces, there's a lot of goals that have come, you know, from the build up of a set piece. Even if you go back as far as the game that we had against Istanbul, you know, where we attacked a set piece and there was nobody at the halfway line. Like there's a lot of real silly mistakes coming about from set pieces, and just like considering the height that we have, it's really poor. It's kind of unacceptable, and I think Ollie needs to address it as soon as possible. But yeah, that game, there's not really much to say about that game. I think I spoke about it in the review, but it was just very disappointing to come away with a loss in such a manner, and because you knew the you know, the mill was going to start churning out rumors or talking about how Ollie can't get past the semi, and you know, it is in a way a fair criticism if you look at the entirety of the thing, if you don't look at it on a game-to-game basis. But on a game-to-game basis, we haven't put in the performance that I've expected of us, and that's really disappointing. Anyway, it was what it was. We move on, and then we're out of another cup, unfortunately, which is a little annoying, because I think the League Cup final has actually been delayed this year. So it wouldn't even have interfered too much in our plans. So it would have been perfectly fine. And honestly, I really want us to win. Well, I wanted us to win, but I really, really wanted Tottenham to lose as well. Like I don't want Tottenham getting a trophy with Mourinho, and I don't want Tottenham getting it after having that easy run to the final. Like it's honestly, like, they should be ashamed of even being in the final. Like they should just offer to play another game against another a slightly more harder opponent, just because their run has been so easy. Like they almost defaulted to the final. But anyway, it is what it is. It's just a United channel, a Tottenham channel. So onwards to yesterday, and just more disappointment, really. United 0, Liverpool 0, the other way around, I suppose, because they were at home. it feels like we've dropped 2 points. It really does. It feels as though we came into that and 2 points have been lost from us, as opposed to, we got a draw against the champions, because we were the better team. Like the first half, don't get me wrong, we were shaky, very shaky. It was really stressful to watch us just go, like, we just could not beat their press. And on the flip side, we couldn't sustain a good enough press with the whole of our team in order to, maybe win the ball up the field rather than, get it back in our own half. And I think the issue that they have with it is that we only seem to press in two halves. You'll see maybe, I think like yesterday, you'll have Rashford, Martial, Pogba, and Fernandez, and maybe Fred will press. But then once it's gone past Fred or something, there's no McTominay, and the back four is all 20 meters down that way because they don't want to get caught on the break. And I get it, but I don't know. I really thought we were in the ascendancy. Like, let's not overreact. A draw is a good result for us. It is, because we're still top of the league. We're still 3 points in front of Liverpool. And yes, okay, if City win all of their games in hand, they'll go top above us. But I mean, even though City are hitting the form at the moment, I still fancy them to have a bit of a blip every now and then. I mean, I've watched Raheem Sterling over and over again, and I have no idea how this guy ever manages to find the back of the net. Like, he's a talented football player, of course he is, but man, his head goes faster than his legs do, and then sometimes, his legs go faster than his head does, and so many times he leaves the ball behind, or just really just looks like he just can't sort his legs out. He just can't get them out from underneath him. If this guy could, if he could do that on a consistent basis, he'd be a fantastic footballer. But, they've obviously had injury problems. Aguero hasn't been playing. Jesus is just not the guy. I used to think quite highly of him before he signed to City, but he's just not the guy, I'll be honest. He's good to have, but he's not about it. If once Aguero leaves, which might be the end of this season or next season or whenever it is, they're going to look for somebody else. And it's not like Jesus is going to step up to be the main striker. He'll still be playing second fiddle to whoever they bring in. So, there's a lot of areas in their team where they haven't necessarily been as dominant as they were in years before, which is surprising because in the back line, they're actually doing much better than they were. Stones just scored 2 goals yesterday. And Diaz, apart from a small blip, I think in maybe his first game, has looked like a really solid signing. They're doing okay, but I still fancy them to drop points, so I'm not too worried. And again, it's games in hand. It's not guaranteed points at the moment. At the moment, we are guaranteed first, but City have the potential to go in front of us. Whether they will or not, we'll see. But nobody expected Liverpool to drop points against in their last 2 games. Who did they play? They had Southampton, drop points against Fulham. It's just, it happens. And I think with City, it'll happen again. It happened to them in the beginning of the season. It'll happen again. So I'm not too worried about that. But for our Liverpool game, it's just frustrating. I didn't sit down for most of the game. I watched most of the game stood up like this, just waiting. And we had chances. Now, I know I think Roy Keane on Sky Sports, he said Pogba had to bury the ball in the back of the net when he had his opportunity. I've been in those positions. I understand what Roy's saying. It's easy to, it's like VAR, isn't it? When you slow something down, it's easy to scrutinize something and be like, oh yeah, it's too easy or it's too soft or whatever. But in the heat of the moment, he had a lot of small targets to hit. He had a small sliver of space on this side, and he had a slightly bigger target there, but he had the defender coming to close him down. I wouldn't be too harsh on Pogba about that. And Fernandez, again, with his opportunity, I don't, again, he hit it very, very lightly, and I wouldn't blame him for not putting it in. I actually think Fernandez probably had a much better opportunity than Pogba did. Like, Pogba's opportunity was better, but Pogba's opportunity was, it's kind of, you'd expect him to kind of hit and hope. Like at that distance, coming onto it like he did, you'd expect him to just hit and hope. Whereas Fernandez, I would have hoped that, because he's striking it with the inside of his foot, that he could have picked a spot a little better than he ended up doing. But regardless, Alisson made 2 good saves. It just would have been really nice to come away with 3 points. And I really don't think we tried to press our advantage. I really feel like we just kind of, like, Ollie rolled the dice eventually, but he rolled it too late for me. I didn't. I think for me at halftime, I was saying that shape needs to change. I wasn't too. I thought Martial played decently. I don't think he was particularly amazing, but what I liked about him is that on at least 2 occasions when he was given the ball, he progressed it like a lot. Like he ran past. At one point, he ran past like 3 different players and managed to give it to somebody in a decent position. And I was like, this is helping us break the press. This is exactly what we need. But with the Pogba experiment on the right, just wasn't working. I know that the thing is that they were saying about Pogba needing to cut in on his onto his right foot, and that's why he needs to play on the left. I disagree. I mean, I understand what they're talking about. I do, like, obviously if you're right-footed, you can cut in, but Pogba's not really. He's not really an inside forward. He's more of an attacking playmaker. He's an advanced playmaker. He's not looking to cut in and get off a shot. I'm not saying he won't if he can, and obviously, like I said, switching sides, then that does limit him to some extent. But I don't think that was the crux of the issues yesterday. I think it was just, we were put under the cosh. We had a lot of pressure thrown at us and we didn't handle it well. We didn't handle it well at all. Fred and McTominay was struggling to be able to help our defense bring the ball out and move it into an area where we could actually start attacking. Now, it got better in the second half, but for me, as somebody who wanted to win that game, which you can say is naive, but that's what fans are. We go to games and we want to win 38 out of 38 if we can. I wanted to see a change. I wanted to see us, maybe. Honestly, I think I wanted, and I know this is harsh because people were criticizing Oli for taking off Bruno Fernandes with like, I don't remember when he came off, like 82 maybe or 83. I don't know. He didn't. He was on the pitch for a lot of the time, but people were criticizing him for taking off Fernandes that early. And I have to be honest. I'd have taken Fernandes off at half time. I have to be totally honest. He was bad. He had a bad game. Like, I know he has the ability to win football matches for us. I know he does. And you're not gonna listen to me sit down now and be like, oh, Fernandes is terrible. Fernandes is crap. It's never gonna be that kind of channel. Although, hold on to that thought because I have I have something to say about one of our other players. But sometimes people are just not having a bad game, just not having a good game. And for me, Fernandes was having a bad game. Every time the ball came to him, I think by the time when I had a look, Fernandes had a 57% pass accuracy. And I was like, that's not good enough. And yes, I understand that playing in an advanced position where you're trying a low percentage kind of pass for a high reward is always going to yield a lower pass accuracy. I totally understand that. My issue is that he was sacrificing the ball for chances that just weren't going to, like, yes, okay, they might have gotten in, but he was just forcing it way too much, to the point where before he even received the ball, I knew what he was going to do. Like after the third time, I was like, okay, he's going to get the ball now and he's going to smash it over to the corner. And he did every time. And it was just, Man United have this problem where we don't, we look scared. Even against teams of like Fulham or West Broms or whatever, we look as though we're not entirely sure about our back line and therefore we need to be careful going forward. So even once that long ball goes over the top and Marcus Rashford maybe does get on the end of it, there's not that much support. The team itself hasn't shifted up 20, 30 meters up the pitch. There might be a Pogba here, and then a Martial lingering around there, and that's about it. The rest of the players are not there to be seen until another 20 seconds. So the ball comes here on the bottom of the pitch. Rashford looks where to go, and he's either smashing one into the box, just, up the line kind of thing, or he's turning around and going back. And the way Liverpool were pressing us, it was just playing right into their hands. Here's the thing, yeah. Fernandes is a great player. He's a fantastic player. I'm never going to turn around and be like, oh, Fernandes is crap. But when you look at the great, amazing players who play for certain teams, you look at Messi, yeah? I know Messi got sent off yesterday, but when Messi plays, every time you see Messi, do you see him trying to slam a diagonal ball to whoever over there, or trying to dribble past everybody in the team? No. 99% of what Messi does is just making really, really, really simple passes look amazing. I say 99. It's too high. Like 85, 70%. Do you know what I mean? Like the majority of this man's game is just about bringing his teammates in. He'll just sit in the middle of the field and just make everybody feel calm and composed because he has that skill. Because he is much better than everybody else, his ball retention for him is easier. So when 3 or 4 men try and come and press him and they're like, oh, we can't let him have the ball, he's just like, no, and give it back to somebody else. And what that does to the entire team is lets them know, when I need to get out of a tight space, boom, let me give it to Messi. I'm going to just give it to Messi. Like if he's there and there's a defender pressing him, it doesn't matter. I know he will get the ball, keep it, and give it to somebody else. And if he's not going to do that, then he's probably going to get a foul. And what that allows you to do is, even if a team comes to press you really, really high, if you manage to get that ball 2 passes up the field to Messi, you're golden. Now the rest of you can readjust your position. You can focus on what it is you're doing, and then the team benefits for it. And that to me is what Fernandes needed to do yesterday. It's what he's needed to do for a couple of games actually, because he's looked a little out of it. And everyone's saying, oh, okay, he needs a rest. And maybe he does need a rest. I'm not saying he doesn't. Some people can play 38 games a season, or 50 games a season, or whatever it is. Some people don't. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, because he needs a rest it's bad or whatever. But for me, I think you just need a more mature performance. Him and Pogba both. I just didn't think they were smart with the ball. And it's annoying because not only does Fernandes was he just kind of just pinging balls and just giving away possession easily, but he's also not in the position that I want him to be. Because if we've got that deep line playmaker, or if we're playing Pogba in a 2 behind Fernandes, or wherever he's playing, we tend to give him a bit of a free role. Whoever it is, whether it's Maguire hitting a ball up, or one of the wing backs, or whatever it is, and the ball goes up there, the problem is for me, there's nobody close enough to the striker to ever give us any kind of hope of actually retaining possession of the ball in that advanced position. People used to shout at Martial for doing it because they'd be like, oh, we need a number 9 who can hold up the ball. It's not about having a number 9 that can hold up the ball. Yes, of course, if you've got like a Lukaku type, or a Zlatan type, or a Cavani type, and they are strong, or even a Fellaini type, and you can just wait for them to bully everybody off and get the ball, then sure. But you can also get somebody closer to the person with the ball and retain possession that way. And that is how Martial likes to play. And if I'm honest, that's kind of how I think Rashford likes to play, because even when the ball was coming over the top, there was nobody around. We love to play wing play. We love to play wing play for some reason. Yeah. And I say for some reason, because when that cross goes in, there's nobody in the box. There's never anybody in the box. So, it's kind of difficult for me to look at the way we play and say, oh yeah, we're making progress and we're making progression. But it still seems like we haven't managed to sort out that attack. If you go back from Man United, over the course of the season and last season, everybody was always like, oh, we could have won this, or we could have done this, but our defense didn't hold up. Well, hold on a second. Our defense just kept a clean sheet against the champions, against Liverpool on their ground. But where was our attack? Do you see what I mean? It was the supporting cast, the Fred McTominay forward. That's where we needed to have a little more penetration, a little more ball retention, a little more maturity. And it just, He wasn't there yesterday. I think Pogba and Bruno let me down in that regard because, as far as I'm concerned, like Pogba's always let me down in that regard. Yeah, he had a good game before. Is this is my take on the Pogba situation. Do I like Pogba? Yes, and I've always defended him. I think he's a fantastic player. Do I think we should sell Pogba? Yes. Why do I think we should sell Pogba? Because it's done. Yeah, it's done. We've had this conversation for too many times. It's happened so many times down the road where we've been like, oh, but Pogba this and Pogba that. Forget it, yeah? I want a player for the amount of money that he costs or the amount of money that we would get for selling him. I want a player I can rely on 90% of the time. Yeah, and I will take that. Even if he is 80% of the player that Pogba is, if I can get somebody who is, in my opinion, like 40% or 50% more reliable than Pogba is on a game-to-game basis, I will take that. Because with that player, now I know what I'm getting when I select a team sheet. I know I'm likely to get exactly what it is that I'm after. Yeah, okay, sure, Pogba played well in the last couple of games. He's played decently. But to me, he doesn't play decently enough for me to warrant putting him in the team week in, week out. And that's what I need. I don't need a sometime-ish player. I need somebody who's there every single time. And for me, that's not Pogba. So yeah, I like him, but if you can't perform to your highest or at least around there, that high standard all the time, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go. For me. And and again, his agent's always talking. He's always chatting about this, that, the other. I don't need it. So I think he's gone in the summer anyway. So it's kind of a moot point. But yeah, I would sell him, cash in on him, wish him the best, and see you later, kind of thing. Yeah. But obviously, if Pogba wanted to stay, would I keep him? I think I'd still cut my ties with him. I think I'd still be like, nah, it's okay. Like I just. At this point, we're just kind of done. If he put his head down, signed a new contract, and got rid of his agent, maybe I'd reconsider it, and I'd be like, all right, cool. And he played well from now to the end of the season. Because again, same thing I said before. I don't think he's playing well. I just think he's playing all right. I think he's just literally doing the bare minimum for us that we expect of him. Like he's finally being the player that we would expect when we signed him. And for me, we're getting absolutely nothing extra. Like, he's not chipping in with goals and assists. Like, yes, okay, he scored the goal the other day, but I'm talking about in a more macro kind of view now. Do you know what I mean? Like, taking into consideration everything that he's done, not just one performance. I think he's been good for a bit. But, when you saw Pogba and you expected him to come, when he was there with Zlatan, you were kind of like, oh yeah, Pogba's going to score a goal every 5 games or, an assist every 2.5 games kind of thing. But he's not that player at the moment. And he's not really facilitating other people. And to me, yesterday, that was a time where he could have stepped up and showed us, yes, I can be this important player for Manchester United. But realistically, we all know he's only showing up because he just wants to get a move somewhere else. So, or he thinks, oh, actually, we might have a chance of winning the Premiership now. So let's actually try my best. And again, even him trying his best doesn't always result in his best performance on the pitch. So, for me, I'm done. I'm over it. Fernandes will come good again. I'm not worried about it. I think, like he said, it happens sometimes. I don't know exactly why it's happened. Maybe he is tired. Maybe he just, he just needs a bit of a break. But he definitely didn't perform as I expected of him. But I do have one person I want to talk about. And I spoke about them before. And look, hey, disclaimer. I know I'm out here on my own on this one. And that's okay. I really don't mind. But like, if you're looking for a United channel where I'm just going to regurgitate everybody else's opinions, that's not me. Yeah? It's never going to be me. I have my own opinion and I'm going to back it. And I'm going to stand by whatever I said. I don't like Luke Shaw. And I don't think he had a particularly amazing game yesterday. And you'll see, now you understand why I said why I'm out by myself. But here's why. Yeah. Yes, he's okay defensively. Yeah. He's okay defensively. Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes this guy is okay defensively. But for the most part, do you know what really, really, really irritates me about Luke Shaw? every time he comes up the field in our attack with the ball, Luke will be here, yeah? And then the player who wants the ball, imagine that's the microphone, and Luke will be here, and then we run him with the ball, and he'll be looking, and he's seen my guy, yeah, right in front of him. He's seen him, and he keeps coming, and obviously he's got his guy next to him who's tracking him, and this person has got a guy here who he wants to just spin and just be gone, yeah, and he comes all the way here, and then he gives him the ball. So now there's 4 people around here, yeah? The guy's got the ball to feet about 2 meters from where he's, the person who's passing to him is. He can't run into space. He can't turn. The only place he can go is back where Luke Shaw came from. And he does it all the time. He is so stagnant on the ball. It is the most frustrating thing. I'm sorry. For me, I can't abide by him being in the team. I genuinely can't abide by him being in the team. I'm not saying Telles is amazing, but as far as I'm concerned, for me, Luke Shaw had his time. It would take something really magical from Luke Shaw for me to be like, all right, cool. He's going to be my first name on the team sheet now. I can tell you when he will and won't play, but I can't stand him. And again, this is because this is coming from a Manchester United supporter's point of view, because like I said, all I want to do is see our team score goals. I appreciate the defensive side of the game. I love Eric Bailly. For me personally, I think Eric Bailly should have started that game. Maybe that would have left us in a bit of a position to be able to push further up the pitch, because we knew that Bailly would have the pace to be able to cover if we needed to. But, for me, in terms of Luke Shaw, I don't think what he brings for us defensively is covers for what he takes away from us offensively. And yeah, sure, he had a good or a decent give and go or an overlap where he almost managed to put somebody in to score. But it's too little too late. Like he does it so infrequently. When you think about how the modern day fullback has evolved to be this, ever charging machine up and down that line, offensively and defensively. And you know what? Fair play to him, yeah, because he was one of the best fullbacks on the pitch in the last game. Even though I don't like him, I'll give him props for that, because Trent Alexander-Arnold was horrible, just bad, and Robertson was, just don't really remember that much about his performance, and that kind of sums it up really. So yeah, he did decently, but I know Luke Shaw had a decent game, but if I'm summing it up, I just don't think he does enough. In the same way that we got rid of Timothy Fosu-Mensah, for me, Luke Shaw has never developed into the kind of player that I think should be at our left back position. And I'm not saying Telles is either. I haven't seen enough of him yet. I've liked the things I've seen of him, both in a Man United shirt and in a Porto shirt. But, it's early days. But for me, Luke Shaw, he can play a role, but that role wouldn't be first team. That's my issue. So if Telles can develop into a first team player and Luke Shaw's happy to hold the bench, I'm calm with that. I don't have a problem. But for me, he's too naive. And he's, like I said, in the modern era's definition of a fullback, he just doesn't perform the role well enough to warrant having him in there every single game. And that it frustrates me no end watching him play. Next time you watch a game, watch him. Because I'm pretty sure I said this in the Man City review, and now it's exactly applicable again to the Liverpool game. So what more proof do you need, kind of thing? Yes, he's all right going backwards sometimes, but he's not as rapid as he needs to be. His attacking sense isn't as good as it needs to be. Like sometimes he doesn't overlap. Sometimes he won't run forward, and sometimes he tries to overlap in the silliest places. But more often, he gives the ball to somebody and brings his man along for the ride. So he just increases the chances of whoever he's given the ball to of being relieved from the ball, or the ball having to go backwards. When he needs to release the ball early and then give that person time to take a touch, turn, while he's bombing forward to make his run past them, but he doesn't do that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka does that, and he's not even that great when it comes to attacking. He's much better than he was before. But anyway, is what it is. We'll move on. The Liverpool game was annoying, but a point still puts us in good stead to continue our charge. I'd say up the table, but we're at the top. So, yeah. Hopefully we can keep staying there. We've got, I think, who we have next? I think we have Sheffield United, and they just got a suspension for, I think it's Baldock. Is it Baldock? I can't remember. One of their players got a, it's either Baldock or Egan. But one of them got a yellow card and then will face a suspension for that game. So they might have to reshuffle the back three. But yeah, we're moving in a positive direction. Let's have a preview of the week ahead. So, up next. Who do we have up next? Fulham. It is Fulham, right? Let me just make doubly sure. Up next, we have Fulham. We do have Fulham. That should be a good one. If we come out in that game with a statement of intent, and smack them for 6, or, someone gets a couple of goals, a hat trick, whatever it is, then I'll be happy. Because I think then that gives us more of a sets us up right in the right mentality for the Liverpool game on Sunday. Is it Sunday or Saturday? I think it's Sunday. Pretty sure it's Sunday. I did check this before, but I just keep forgetting. We are. What am I doing here? Matches. Yes, matches. Sunday. Yeah, Sunday again. If we come out and we hit them for 6, then it puts us in good stead for Sunday when we go to Liverpool again, because I do not want to see a repeat performance, or at least not a repeat first half performance. If we come out and we limp to a 1-0 victory, or God forbid a draw or a loss, then, apparently our title challenger credentials are just not good enough, because Fulham are a team that we really should be beating. Yes, I know that Liverpool dropped points to them. In fact, a couple of teams have dropped points to them this season. Just trying to remember who they are. But realistically, they're a team we should be beating. Tottenham drew to them. Southampton drew to them. Liverpool drew to them. They haven't, apart from the FA Cup game, they haven't won a game in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. And then before that, they beat Leicester. So, they've held a lot of big teams. You know what they're about. They're gonna hit you on the break. They're gonna try and beat you with pace. They don't really have an out-and-out striker because Mitrovic is holding the bench at the moment, or he's injured. I think he might actually be injured, but it doesn't matter because even when he was fit, he was still holding the bench, which I think is a very strange decision. And if he does manage to get fit in time for Manchester United game, which the app I use says doubtful, would make him a very interesting prospect for Fulham, because we've shown how defensively frail we can be from set pieces and such. And if you stick Mitrovic between Lindelof and Maguire, or Bailly and Maguire, he's gonna cause trouble. As simple as. He's a bit of a bully. But if they play Costa and Costa? Do you know what? Yeah, for the life of me, I'm getting all of these right, but I'm just doubting myself. Every single time I'm just doubting myself. and that one I definitely got wrong. I wasn't thinking of Costa. I was thinking of Cavallero. If they play Cavallero and Lookman, then I think with the ball on the floor in front of our defense, I fancy our defense. Every time I fancy our defense. It's when the ball is actually managing to go over the top or in the air and being knocked around. That's when our defense looks a bit shaky. The first ball, the first pass or the first aerial ball or whatever it is, we look okay to that. Even if we don't win it, we look as though defensively we're set up in the right shape to be able to deal with it. But when that ball takes another 2 touches, when that ball comes long, and then say we missed a header or Maguire wins the header or whatever, and then somebody plays another 2 passes, all of a sudden, because Maguire would have stepped out to win the header, so he'll be up here, then, Jesus Christ, I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Not read into that at all. But Maguire will step up, and then the rest of the defense won't be there. You know, Fred and McTominay, or whoever's playing in centre mid, will still be around in that area. So you'll have Fred, McTominay, Maguire. Then you'll have Lindelof or Bailly or whoever it is, and then Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. And let's be honest, like I'm saying, going back to the whole Shaw point or whatever, our fullbacks have not always tucked in as they should have defensively when we're going back. So I think we'll be okay against Fulham. I really do. I think we'll probably be all right. But, you know, we do have to be careful. They've not really taken some big scalps, but they've definitely halted the charge of a couple of big teams. And you know, if we want to be title contenders this season, or, you know, even touch wood, winner of the league. And the thing is that before the Liverpool game, I said, if we beat Liverpool, I'm getting nuts. Getting absolutely nuts. But without beating Liverpool, I think there definitely is, you know, a little bit of caution. Just take it a little bit, you know, just get a little bit smoother, and especially the manner in which it happens. So, you know, we'll just kind of chill for the moment. But yeah, we have to be careful here. Expected 11 for this game. I'm going to say we'll probably have De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka at right back, because we literally have nobody else we can play unless you want to play Williams, and I just don't see it happening. I think Bailly might come back in for this one, especially given the pace of the opponent. I can definitely see Bailly coming back in. Maguire. I think Telles might get a run out simply because we have Liverpool on Sunday. Shaw's played the last 3 games. Yes, he's played well by other people's metrics, not by mine. But I think Ollie would rather rest him and give him, and, you know, bring in somebody else so that he can, you know, have him fit for Liverpool again on Sunday. If he did, basically, if everyone thinks he did such a great job, then let's go and do that again, basically. So I think he'll probably rest him. Formation wise, I'm probably going with the 4-2-3-1. I think, you know, it's pretty much our staple diet at the moment, really. You know, we use a diamond every now and then, but 4-2-3-1 seems to be where the good stuff is. In midfield, I think Van der Beek is going to get a start, so I'd expect to see him there, probably alongside Scott McTominay rather than Fred, because, you know, I don't think he wants to go too gung-ho. I think we will see Pogba come out of the team. Greenwood on the right. Fernandes in the middle. It's funny because he put Martial on the left last time, and I think he did decently. He didn't set the world alight, but he did what he needed to. But I think he might revert this time, and Rashford will go on the left, and Martial will go up front. Or even could possibly even see James come into the team just to give Rashford a break. Maybe James will play off the left and Martial will go forward. But I don't know. We'll have to see. And then we've got Liverpool on Sunday. And I mean, I've just spoken about the Liverpool game that we just had. We've got to be better. we have to be better this time. You know, there's no getting away from it. If you want to be a title contender, you've got to beat the best. You do have to beat the best. And last season, apart from Liverpool, we were beating teams left, right, and centre. The top six, you know, we had a great record against them. This season, we're actually beating the teams that we should beat, even if not convincingly, but we're not getting anything but draws against the top six. You know, we lost to Tottenham, you know, arguably because of the red card and that whole debacle just quickly got away from us. And then we lost to Arsenal by a Pogba penalty. And, you know, apart from that, we've drawn to Chelsea, we've drawn to City, and we've drawn to Liverpool. We beat Leicester, you know, if I can't remember who the top six includes, if Leicester are part of it. But, you know, Leicester, we beat them. So, you know, we're not doing badly, but we need to start picking up points there. We really do, you know. It's not good enough if we want to come home with the trophy. If we were just looking to get Champions League, then yeah, sure. At this moment in time, you're looking at United and you're going, you should get Champions League football. There's no reason why you shouldn't end the season with Champions League football. But if our aspirations are to be title winners, winners have a certain kind of mentality about them. Winners go out and get it done. And at the moment, we're not really getting it done. That first half against Liverpool was not getting it done. And the thing is that you can have first halves like that against Liverpool. You can. If you know, sometimes you'll come out and you'll be like, oh, it's just for some reason, team is just a little bit shaky. Not entirely sure about what they're doing, where they're going, you know, and it takes a while to settle yourself. And, you know, even after the first half we had against Liverpool, I looked at us and I said, we could still be champions. You know why? Because we didn't concede. If you can have a half like that where you're not playing well, but you don't concede, you'll win with a chance, you know? But we didn't come out and press our advantage. We didn't go into that locker room, get our heads together and be like, right, let's sort this out. Let's get at them now. We are going to be champions. We're going to be champions. That's what we want to be. Every man in here wants to be a champion, yeah? And if you want to be a champion, you've got to play like a champion. So let's get out there and let's do what we need to do. We didn't do that. We came out and we had a bit better performance. The performance improved slightly, but it wasn't a much improved showing in the second half. You know, Liverpool arguably had their chances, and I believe, you know, they'll probably do the same on Sunday as well. You know, I don't think we'll be able to contain them, I'll be honest. I think all of the FA Cup games are one-legged affairs. There's no replays anymore. It just goes straight to penalties. And sorry, I didn't give you a score for the Fulham game. For the Fulham game, I'm gonna say 3-0. I think we can manage it, even with a rotated team. Actually, I'll say 2-0. I can't see us scoring 3 goals. We just haven't been scoring freely. Requires Bruno or somebody to have a good game, but I think we should keep them out and then, you know, be able to score 2 of our own. For the Liverpool game, of course, my heart wants to say a 1-0 United win, but if I'm honest, if we win, I see it being penalties. But, you know, I do see Firmino being as wasteful as he was last game in the next game, but I don't see them giving us as many opportunities to you know, come away with something. I think I don't remember if it's at Old Trafford or if it's at Old Trafford. It is at Old Trafford. So we're playing home, but again, without a crowd, I don't know. You know, we struggled to beat their press, and then when we finally did, you know, we didn't manage to press them very well either. So I probably have to say we lose on penalties. I know it's harsh, but either we lose on penalties or 1-0. I'm gonna say 1-0 to Liverpool. Actually, no. Here's the thing. Do you know why it won't finish 1-0? Because if we concede 1, we'll go for it. It's a cup tie. would have nothing to do but go for it. So if we lose, it'll be by more than one goal because we'll get caught on the counter attack. Whether we score ourselves, I don't know. Our attack wasn't filling me with much hope. And if you're gonna play like that, you have to take your chances when they come. I can't think of a score. I really can't. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. I know. I am a United fan. If we do win, I'll say 2-0 United. Because like I said, again, both teams are going to be up for it. If we manage to nick that first goal, if we have a sensible first half, Liverpool are going to go for it again. And I see Martial or Rashford breaking in behind them and then going again. Oh my gosh. I almost forgot when Rashford and Cavani were through on goal and Rashford decided to run by himself and didn't play in Cavani. Do you know how upset I was? That's how upset I was. I removed the memory from my brain. I just completely blanked it out, so I didn't have to remember it. But my goodness, that was a gilt-edged opportunity, and we fluffed it. We 100% should have won that game. It was 2 points dropped. I'm gonna sit here and stew about that for a little bit longer. If you've watched to the end, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. If you could drop us a follow or a subscribe. Still waiting for my first subscriber, unless I got that while I wasn't looking. But, if you're watching, drop a like, drop a subscribe. If you didn't like it, drop a dislike. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's where I am. I'm quite active on Twitter during game day. And I'm trying to be pretty active on Instagram on every other day. So, yeah, that's where you can follow our socials. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's been long, so we'll have another one next week, Monday, which I might have to record Sunday night because I might be busy on Monday. But realistically, it's lockdown, so maybe I won't be busy. But, yeah, this will be a weekly thing. And, yeah, I hope to see you next week. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and I hope you enjoyed the intro because, that took me a lot of time to make, even though I know it probably doesn't look like it. But yeah, thank you very much. Catch you in the next one.